Hello guys and girls, this is Nocturnal Culture from Darkthrone and you are listening to Thomas Eriksen's podcast. Hi everybody and welcome back to the podcast, my podcast. And who am I? Well, my name is Thomas Eriksen, and I am a black metal musician, the creator of the Norwegian black metal band Mork, which has released albums together with the legendary Peaceville records since, was it 2016 or 17? I think it was 17, with the third album being the first one on Peaceville. And after the fact, all the albums are now on Peaceville, which is my home as of today. Today I actually received a package from Peaceville with more copies of the vinyl version of the first demo, Rota til Ondskap. So now that's back in stock, and as well as the rest of the albums in vinyl, CDs and stuff, and t-shirts at the official band web shop that you will find in the description, the link there. So please stop by and support the band. If you support the band, you automatically support myself and the podcast at the same time. So thank you very much. And by the way, I do provide autographed vinyls and CDs if you would like. It's a little button on the order page which asked if you want to have the item signed or not. So then you know. This coming Saturday, the 26th of September, Mork will be on stage again, which is awesome. The festival at Kopervik in Norway, on the island Karmøy, Heavy Nights and Black Nights, which is a 2-day festival over there, had a few bands that had to cancel their appearance. So we were called in last minute, and we appeared on the same festival last year, and it was great. So really looking forward to returning to that part of our beautiful country this coming Saturday, that is. I am always working with the new Mork stuff, and the new Mork album is actually pretty close to being finished, but you won't be seeing any of that until 2021, next year. But, ladies and gentlemen and demons, today I have some news for you. Listen to this sound. It is called for a tiny little personal celebration for myself. I think a couple of episodes ago I was talking about something I did this summer that was a bit secretive. Well, now today I have been emailing back and forth with Peaceville, and I got the permission to announce this. Well, this summer I actually went to a very special place, which I really I wasn't aware that it was around even. Many of you black metal fans out there, and Norwegian followers for that, enthusiasts, may have heard about the artist, the famous Norwegian artist Theodor Kittelsen. He is not around anymore. He was around in the 1800s and early 1900s, if I'm not mistaken. Most of you have probably seen the artwork for Bursum's Hvis lyset tar oss and Philosophem, to name a couple. Those front covers are actually drawings by this amazing artist. And if you have flipped through the Bursum booklet that comes with Philosophem, you can also see more Kittelsen drawings within. Amongst others is a famous one, which is called the Pesta I Trappa, which is like you can see this staircase and this heads popping out of the darkness, this scary womanish kind of figure, which is which represents the plague, the Black Plague, which was roaring in Norway back in the 1300s. And there's another picture of a bed, old school wooden bed, with just a skull and bones inside it. Pretty famous Norwegian drawings there, and has been a huge inspiration for me over the years, just staring at those drawings, because it's so eerie and dark and mysterious. Well, here's my point. That bed and that staircase is an actual place which I, after a bit of research, got to visit this summer. And I went back there with a photographer and had a little photo shoot, which was supposed to be only for my own pleasure. And I was planning to just release the photos as a cool thing, But then a friend of mine just poked me and said that, dude, you should really just make music to this. You should make a song or a single. And I was kind of dumbfounded, because why didn't I think of that? So that is what I did. I have written a song called Pesta, which translates to the plague, or the Black Plague. And Pesta is also this figure that you can see in some of those drawings. So that song will be released through Peaceville Records in November or early December. So this is the first time this is being announced at all. I think perhaps there will be a press release with further information coming next week or the following weeks. But it's really exciting for me, because the song Pesta was written rather spontaneously, and it has become this eerie piece, actually, which I am really proud of, and it's really old school, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to revealing it, so that we can spread this plague together, and hopefully you guys will check it out. A cool thing is that it will be a limited only vinyl release on a 12-inch as a kind of a maxi single with I think it will be 4 tracks in total. So that will be the Pesta track as well as 3 bonus tracks. And it will be out digitally as well, I suppose. Really looking forward to that. So, and in come to think of it, this COVID-19 times, a song about the plague is rather perfect, I would say. All right, about this week's episode and special guests. It's no other than Mr. Fenriz himself, Gylve Nagel. I've been thinking about it for a while now. This man has to be the most well-known person in metal. It just seems like it. This guy is popping up everywhere in memes and quotes and videos and everything. And he is kind of a stamp of credibility and also honesty. He has great tastes, which actually he uses to lead people into discovering great music. I have a lot of respect for this man, and all of this rock star and iconic thing that I'm talking about now is kind of funny because the man is not like that. He is really private and he keeps to himself, and he'd rather be out of the public eye. And I'm lucky to actually be in contact with the man, and I can call him a buddy. Fenriz has supported Mork since I think the second album was about to be released, Den vandrende skygge, in 2016. I remember he picked up a track from that album and pushed on his then Band of the Week concept, which I really appreciate. I think a lot more people got their eyes opened and ears opened for Mork back then. And he has been in and out of our music ever since. He hasn't been contributing to the music itself, but he has name-dropped the band now and again. And it's very much appreciated. So I finally got to trick him into doing a podcast episode with me. And we had a really great time, and we had some beers and a good chat. But, I traveled to Oslo that day to meet up with the man, and I packed my rucksack and with my computer and sound card and microphones and cables and everything like that, and jumped on the train, went to Oslo, met the guy, started packing out the stuff, and then I realized that the AC power adapter to the laptop was left back in Halden, and the computer was dead. So go figure. So I had to, after some running around and sweating a bit in the streets of Oslo, I finally came across the correct plug and everything like that. And we finally got to record our chat, which you are about to embark upon now. What can I say? It's Fenriz. He doesn't need much of an introduction. Just please enjoy, and I will just say
med noe skalldyr. Ja, Halden er jo nesten kysten.
Det er jo kysten, er det ikke det?
Blir det noe skalldyr?
Nei, jeg bare skaller med dyr.
Ja, men vi må gjøre på engelsk, og du skal tisse.
Ja, jeg stikker og pisser. Oh man, right now, man, I almost got a heart attack because I left the fucking AC unit for the computer in Halden. And I'm in Oslo with you now. So,
yes, thank you.
Oh, fuck, man.
AC/DC unit?
AC/DC unit, if it only been that good.
AC/DC unit 5.
This guy needs no introduction. It's the one and only Fenriz.
I haven't been talking British in many years now.
I listened to your interview with Helle at
yes, but it was in Norwegian.
Yes, but you commented Norwegians talking English.
Mm-hmm.
And
we don't talk English. We talk a plethora of English variables.
But I think think that as long as we get the point across and makes us understood, that's it, you know. Dialect or accent or what.
Definitely.
Definitely, yes. Oh man, thank you. You bought a couple of beers. I owe you two.
That was quite a kerfuffle getting that done.
We had to do it by app.
By app.
Because of
Suicide by app.
It wasn't rap though, so only app.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Should I just start talking?
Yeah, I'm not a professional interviewer or anything, but I have kind of found my formula now, format after 17 episodes. And usually I want you to tell me your story, basically.
I have 17 episodes myself.
You do?
Done now, yeah.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Well, the whole story, the born thing about me or the music me.
It's like,
but that's connected.
It is. So your
in
story
most cases.
from birth to today, if we can manage, and some cool tidbits within, you know.
Well, musically, I got like this toddler drum kit, which I mean, any toddler would break it.
Yeah.
I guess perhaps toddler drum kits today are maybe toddler drum kits today are of less
Quality.
Yeah.
Like with a tiny snare, a tiny tom, and tiny kick.
Yeah, I had that, but that was
One
so
symbol.
tiny. Then I got like some sort of drum from Africa or something, which you just go with the fingers.
The bongo.
It was a big bongo. It was a big bongo. It wasn't like those 10 centimeters high
ones.
ones. No, it was like
Don't they call that a djembe?
yeah, I have one photo of it, and yeah, but I didn't get that cool stick or anything. But it didn't matter. I broke that as well, of course. But children break stuff. That's why they are not practical.
Yeah, that's true.
Impractical. Ted has the kids. I don't believe in that.
Me neither.
No, I
yet.
don't. No, but I'm not. The curse shall not live on.
But I think we both are cat people, right?
Yes, and that's what I was thinking today when you mentioned cat. We are just one letter away from what I'm thinking about. And when you have the idea of making a movie about black metal, why stop there? Why not go all the way? Lords of Chaos, the musical. Think like cat sound music.
It could work, actually. There's makeup.
No. Okay, so the whole drumming thing. I don't know. I think I read that Dave Grohl started playing on cushions or pillows. I certainly did. I remember vividly. I was drumming to, for instance, Power Slave by Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
With like, in Norway we have lots of 17th of May National Day flags.
Oh,
which
yes.
are like,
Perfect sticks.
Yeah, they're perfect sticks.
Yes.
Really.
Just rip off the flag.
Yep. Rip off the flag.
I
Rip
did
off
so.
the flag.
It actually looks like a drumstick.
I know. It's got that point tipped thing.
Yes.
So I felt I was in business, but I learned more from that. I think just playing on pillows when I was like 13.
So you always had the rhythm part in you then?
Well, the stuff I told you about before, the drums, I got that when I was like 2 and 3 and stuff. And then there was nothing until like 10 years later. I mean, the first time I could actually sit behind a real drum kit, I had no memory of myself. Like, there was no muscle memory or anything like that. It was just like starting all over again, but I had an idea of what to do, and it was so awesome. That of course happened in
your early teens, perhaps, or something?
Yeah, at pretty much the same time. I think it was maybe in '85 or something. That was PK's Per Kjetil's drum kit, which he's now playing in a band that plays in motorcycle clubs and stuff.
Okay.
He still lives back in Tornosen, but he lived another place in Tornosen, Kolbotnen, and that's where I could try out the drum kit. And it was so goddamn awesome, because some years before I'd gotten like a guitar with nylon strings.
Yes. Yep.
Hated the nylon strings. God damn it, stupid. Playing power side on nylon strings. Well,
you can play the intro for battery though.
No, but I refused to do any of those grip things. Like we had to learn in school. No, I never could play a power chord. Okay. I just use 2 fingers always. So my riffs are always 2 fingers. Yeah. If Ted play them with like a 3 finger, which is probably a power chord or whatever.
Oh yeah, you did the punk thing.
I just did what I was supposed to do.
Man.
Well, so.
What was your first?
The thing is, I had the little tiny total drum kit first, and then the little drum and. Fuck that. That was in the early 70s. And then I got the guitar probably in 82. And then I started thinking. So I was playing guitar and thinking drums at the same time. Very handy, actually, as you probably know.
Yes.
Because you know more about the rhythms when you do the guitar riffs. And
it's easier to compose songs that way. At least for me.
It must be.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that Ted also plays drums, so he has some kind of.
Yeah, he does actually. He played drums on his solo album.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Not bad, man. He started out playing drums, I think.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
He never wanted to answer me about his first bands. It was all secretive.
Oh, well then I shouldn't say anything, but it started on C, and it wasn't. Catastrophic like my first bands were, so I don't know what he's so afraid about. Anyway,
I think
it was okay. It was definitely. I just had to listen to it a little bit, and I was just interested in him joining the band when we needed a guitar player anyway in '88. But I guess well. I didn't hang out with Per Kjetil down there in Augustavain so much, so I could not access his drum kit many times.
He's a bit older than you, right?
No, it was the same class. He was the guy that had the Peace of Mind on tape, so I got into Iron Maiden hearing first the Peace of Mind album.
Well, was that the first kind of thing you got into, Iron Maiden?
No. Very good rhetorical... my uncle gave me the Doors Morrison Hotel album in '73, and then I got Grand Funk Phoenix album, and I got the Easy Rider soundtrack, and I got the Sweet Freedom by Uriah Heep, and I got a cool, really heavy rhythm and blues funk hard rock band called Scorpion. Not Scorpions.
Okay.
They came from Motown, but they had some side project. I don't know if it was Motown. It was. I think they were doing it in Detroit anyway.
Kind of bass heavy then.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! They had distortion on the bass and everything.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and I got 461 Ocean Boulevard by Eric Clapton, which led me to become music critic for the first time, because I was like, all the other albums, I dig them.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton. Totally boring. Last year I was listening to it again to see if I could agree with myself or if I was an okay music critic already at the age of 3-4, and well, at least it didn't click this time either.
It didn't.
Eric.
You didn't grow into it.
No, I did not grow into it.
Close to 50.
So that was my basis. But then I got it from my uncle, and my uncle was like, pills and everything like that. So my mother and father didn't want him hanging around too much. So I was like separated. Already there's troubles in the family.
Okay.
And then
is that the brother of your?
Mother.
But
he died like 10 years ago.
Did he go to shows in the 70s and stuff, or only collect records?
No, he was just freak, and he played Pink Floyd for me, and he saw my reaction. That was probably like in '72 or early '73. I was like 1.5 maybe. Yeah. and he saw that I just freaked out,
Yep.
you know, and he didn't want to give me that album, so he instead he gave me some of the stuff that he was probably getting tired of, because he was getting into a little bit more straight stuff like gasoline and shit during the 70s, and he gave me probably the freakiest stuff he had.
Yeah. You know which Pink Floyd album?
No, but it had to be before 74 at least.
So maybe Metal or Dark Side or something? I love that stuff. Gilmore and
yeah, but
together.
I don't know that stuff by heart. I just like Pink Floyd on a general basis.
But do you like it?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but Syd Barrett Pink Floyd or later Pink Floyd?
No, I don't know that. Don't know the stuff that well. You know, for me, I never got the Pink Floyd. So when I set out to discover Pink Floyd myself, I was thinking, I'm buying The Wall album by some coincidence.
Yeah.
And I figured out like this is not freaky at all.
No.
It's more like a musical.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
And then so I have to separate that from the other Pink Floyd that I heard.
The freaky stuff is Syd Barrett stuff.
Yeah, but I think they were pretty freaky up till The Wall. And Syd Barrett, I think he just was there like until 72 or 71 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking they were freaky way beyond Syd Barrett. I mean, they were.
Yeah, that's true. Atom Heart Mother and
they were not exactly sounding like the first Beatles album.
No, that's true. That's true. But I really dig the Dark Side of the Moon and the Wall stuff. The more Gilmore-ish, clean stuff. I like
then
the
you
melodies.
have the Mayhem link with the Frank the Cow and everything like that. You know, Frank the Cow, they had that on the inner label of Death Crush, and it was taken from the Cow album cover that Pink Floyd has.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Atom Heart Mother.
Yeah, the whole Frank the Cow is from there.
Aha, there you go.
And that was one of the reasons I wasn't jumping head first into Pink Floyd either, because I was noticing, okay, that's Mayhem's Euronymous thing probably.
Okay.
You don't want to copy all the stuff. So they were into Tangerine Dream and Konrad Schnitzler,
yes.
and I went for Klaus Schulze.
Okay.
So you sort of have to.
Yeah.
Don't sit too close.
No.
I'm thinking that's a Kolbotn thing. Like
it's a Norwegian thing.
We already knew we were like 3 years younger than them and not so cool or experienced, and we definitely didn't want to just, you know, we have to go our own way.
Yeah.
And Mayhem anyway was more artistically thinking from the get-go. We were more like we want to just the music itself was what we were.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a standstill then because I got the Morrison Hotel in 73 and then the rest in 74, and there was a standstill. I didn't get any new music at all. You don't have money when you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Course.
In the 70s, you're just and the what I could hear through the radio was just bullshit. Norwegian top music.
Yeah.
Norwegian Top's music was bad. A lot of the music that reached radio for sitting in the car with your parents was just bullshit. You could ask Harald Arelund, or you can't ask him now because he just died. But he was, the John Peel of Norway, and he was like, he had a hard time getting through even in the 70s. He had a monthly show. That was all NRK gave him. You know, NRK is the BBC of Norway, and he was working the radio there. So it was damn hard to come by anything, and I got some money in 78 for a birthday probably, and we had moved to Kolbotn. Then we went to some really cheap warehouses that just had stocks of, you know, if you bought like a teddy bear there, it would be like teddy bears that were just not from a popular line of teddy bears, and they would just be stashed, and there was like lots of cheap albums there, and the coolest stuff I could find was like, oh my god, it's a photo of a freeway and a guy with a guitar on it, Elvis Presley. I know that. So I'm using my like 20 kroner for 2 albums of Elvis Presley. And I had gotten one Elvis Presley album as well for a birthday. But that was what the whole of my rest of the family could like summon up.
Yeah.
And I would go like, can't I have one more album by Uriah Heep? I love this album. All 75, all 76, all 77, all 78, all 79. Give me Uriah Heep. And I could not get any more. I was so curious about what would the other stuff of this band.
So you kind of missed the 70s then.
What would they sound like? And then I started school in 78. And then probably in not the first grade would be 78 till 79, and then the second grade would be 79 till 80. So I guess it was in the second grade someone had the Unmasked album from Kiss, and that was it. That was just like, okay, no one understands the stuff I have with Uriah Heep and stuff. That was like, you couldn't go anywhere with that. It was pointless to try and have someone over and listening to that for some reason. Don't know, but we were all into Kiss. Like it felt like 50% of the class was into it.
But may I ask something? Because I'm born in 84, so I wasn't around. But how come Kiss Unmasked era is the biggest one in Norway? It seems like that comes up each and every time I speak with one of you elders.
Yeah, I think
is it because of the I was made for loving you and it just blew up afterwards in Norway?
Yeah, you have that gap. I've been talking about it in my podcast a lot. If someone has a breakthrough, then the next album is the one that gets all the extra push from the labels and the interest for the people. So
because they were fucked in the States.
Yeah, they were fucked in the States. Australia was and Musk was also popular there.
Yeah.
But I feel like Norway, was for sure what we would some years later think that the Eastern Bloc countries were. They were naturally lagging. We were naturally lagging in Norway. There weren't much culture, as I just said, with no cool stuff on the radio. So I guess there was a lot of people thinking, okay, this is an outlet. It was so commercial, but it wasn't still the doorway. It opened up Norway like a little,
cracked open,
a little crack open, and we would just started sucking everything
by a straw
through the crack. Like, is there anything else that has these heavy guitars? Anything? You know, and I didn't have an older brother or something like that, which was a tragedy because I hear a lot of other people getting help that way. But, you know, I had my uncle anyway in the beginning, so that was really helpful.
Yeah.
But it stopped too abruptly, and I was like left from 74 to 80 until anything happened.
Yeah.
I had a huge advantage, and then it all got crumbled away.
But 80, man, that's a big year.
Yep, in 81 maybe it was as well, but then things started really to happen. Okay, fast, slow. but when you heard Kiss, what was so cool with us? Okay, I was born in 71, so what was cool discovering a band like 7 albums in or 8 albums in, and then they had, you know, solo albums and live albums, then you knew there was someone older out there that had more Kiss. And I was like, locate the people that has Kiss.
Track them down.
Can I please lend the fucking album? Can I record it onto tape? And yes, I could. From Espen Lindstad, probably. Thank you for helping me there. But you know, we were all on a search for that, so we were helping each other getting all the Kiss stuff. And then suddenly Thomas Hansen had AC/DC.
Oh man, that's my favorite.
He had For Those About to Rock, and he had If You Want Blood live album.
Excellent.
So I was exposed to Bon Scott and Brian Johnson at the exact same time, and they were so different. You know, the wildness of
For Those About to Rock is actually my favorite AC/DC album.
Yeah, we've discussed it. I can't get out of that album because it was the thing I heard before. I think I would have a problem if I didn't hear AC/DC until this day.
Yeah.
Then I'd probably go for the Bon Scott stuff, sort of, because the rhythm section kind of works cooler with that whole thing. You know,
it's a bit rougher.
Yeah, but it's rougher, but it's lighter. It's snappier too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
It was really bombastic on For Those About to Rock.
Yeah,
and if you read, you hear, you will see that the band themselves were so tired of the producer.
Yeah, they were not happy.
Not happy at all, because it was dragging them around in different studios to get the drum sound right.
Because he was a pop producer guy.
It would have been equally as good as an album with a Back in Black drum sound, for instance. I'm sure. But, you know, for us that really like the album, we're happy that he went to such...
I would not have it any other way.
No, of course not, because we have brainwashed ourselves to just want it that way.
But let me ask you, man, since we are both lovers of that album in particular, do you agree with me that this is the heaviest and darkest AC/DC album?
I think it's...
to me, it is.
It's a lot of the songs seem really introvert, you know?
And it's like a bit more melancholic atmosphere, a bit more
because the lyrics seem to be again mostly about sleazy stuff actually.
Snowball, Spellbound.
Well, yeah.
Night of the Long Knives. It's dark, man.
Night of the Long Knives definitely. It's not light.
No, it's not. But it's so great.
And there's not a lot of tongue in cheek, and Bon Scott was tongue in cheek all the way, so you lose that aspect totally.
That's what I like, because it's a bit serious.
Well, I need both.
Yeah, sure. Then we can listen to one album and another one afterwards, you know.
And back in then started the search for AC/DC, but at the time came 82. I had turned 10.
Yeah.
And there was more money for week allowances for doing dishes or whatnot.
Yep, chores.
And chores and also grades in school after a while became a thing. But in 82, I think, there was money for birthdays, and then there was this. You could get. Not the Kiss albums, but the AC/DC albums had this sticker on, like best price sticker. It was like a white and yellow sticker on it with an exclamation mark.
Yeah, I have those.
And I bought several AC/DC albums from the 70s, I think. At least a couple with that one on, so that was like real cheap.
Is that like knockoffs?
I don't know, but it was like the umpteenth pressing, or these big bands have real pushes when they get real popular, and then the sales numbers are what they actually sell to the stores and chains, but that's not the real sale. So they don't count the returned. But then when I don't know that much about the business, but you don't want to return it probably at once. You want to lower the prices and then make them circulate. And then probably you have like, we got 50,000 copies we can't sell in Finland, and ship them over to Hungary or whatever. I don't know how it works. Yeah. And then prices are cool. And then someone had Black Sabbath, Live Evil, and that was it for me. I just fell into the dark hole. I never
Those
stopped.
Two predecessors there?
I never stopped listening to Live Evil. And then I could discover Black Sabbath from the 80s, from the 70s, and with Dio, at the same time. Because, they played classics as well as new songs on Live Evil. Live Evil, man, I've had it on CD and on album, and I tried to make the cover myself, like
run with a pencil.
You're 11 years old trying to recreate one of the most awesome album covers on a small cassette cover. Let's go.
You know what? That album is so good that the band broke up.
Well, I
over
read
the mixing.
I read a little about it, and they are not happy with the mixing. Actually, they aren't. But I didn't think about that.
No, of course not.
We never knew anything about that. That's what I'm finding out now, and I don't give a shit now.
That's inside stuff, you know. It doesn't matter. We like it.
Well, it's another. It's so introvert again. So introvert. This is. It's not reaching out in a way. Like if I knew a song like "Hello America" with Def Leppard at the time, I would definitely have started already making cupboards in my mind, like outreaching music, and then we have introvert music.
Yeah.
But then Kiss was really outreaching as well. You know, when we finally got the first Kiss album, you had and the second, third Kiss album, you would have introvert songs and outreaching songs on the same albums, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so no real reason to categorize, but rather just follow the darkness, and that was Live Evil. And
yes.
I never thought that when I discovered Iron Maiden after some, you know, there was some, heard a little bit of Twisted Sister and some Accept and stuff probably before I heard Iron Maiden, but when I first heard Iron Maiden was an explosion because they had something completely different of what I've been talking about already.
Yeah.
When you go from the bands I've mentioned so far and then straight on to Peace of Mind, that is a completely different ballgame.
It is.
So I was thrilled. I was thinking immediately, I will never do anything as good as this, ever. That's just, you could just forget about it. I still feel that today. And
still life. Oh.
Well, the whole thing, except for Die With Your Boots On, is not my fave, but the rest is...
I think that was good too.
But you're from Halden.
Yes, I am.
You have to be a little bit more hurry.
Oh, man. Cheers.
It had boots in the title, so to like.
That's true.
I had to say that. It's for comic relief.
Yeah, it's okay, man. I can take it. Keep them coming.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Did you play by yourself in your boyhood room all the time, or were you already in bands by that time?
No, not at all. Because in my school, in my class, it was a small school. It was Hellerås skole, and there weren't many people into metal. I mean, because you see, I told you before about like 50% it seemed in the class liking Unmasked. This started to wane off.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people liked Unmasked because of its outreaching qualities, probably, and then.
But not so much.
But then we started to dive into we liked the more dark stuff. Of course, it was really unnatural for me to like a song like Rock and Roll All Night better than Black Diamond. That was extremely unnatural for me to even think it was like the cool song and the not so cool song.
Yeah.
It was easy for me. It was just, that's what I felt. And then, you know, we went straight onto the darker stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it was Merciful Fate, Metallica, and then Slayer. And then that's it. That's the basis you need. That's why Frost in Satyricon always said, like, Slayer is such an important band. He knows that Slayer had really a lot of different qualities in as many albums. There were that kind of Slayer, that kind of Slayer, that kind of Slayer, and then that kind of Slayer.
Yeah, sure.
And they did that from 83 till 88.
But you didn't like pick up on Venom or Motorhead before you heard Slayer?
Yeah, no, it was the same time. Because after 82, then it had gone really slow with... and then in 83... almost at the same time, Per Kjetil showed me and lent me the tape with a Piece of Mind from Maiden. We got cable TV, and then there was lots of music videos and hard rock shows. So then suddenly we were exposed to, you know, single songs or maybe two by some of the bands. But then this branched out, and they showed the Combat Tour in '85 with Exodus, Venom, and Slayer. And we now know that Exodus is actually the coolest now, but at the time what had really a lot of impact was Slayer playing Hell Awaits, because all the riffs were like half notes and evil riffs.
Yes.
And we didn't know that from before, and we never stopped to figure out, wow, maybe it was actually cooler with Black Sabbath that had some light riffs and some dark riffs, a little dynamic there. No, when you first heard that they could have only evil riffs, you're like, we go there! I want to go to there.
It's a teen thing, you know?
I want to go to there, fast now!
Oh, that combat thing, people seem to mention that a lot in your age group. And that was an important milestone.
Anyway, Motorhead was just a different vibe. Motorhead was Motorhead. And Venom, I thought, was noisy, but I liked Seventh Gate of Hell song really a lot. Didn't like so much the more punky stuff they had. And when I finally got like the early Voivod stuff, I felt a little bit the same way. Like, here we have a lot of drums and vocals, and you can't hear the riffs so much. It was
Stupid question from my part. Is that a Canadian band?
Yeah.
Where from Canada, you know? East or West Coast?
I don't give a shit. I don't have a PhD in Canada.
You don't?
No.
They got
a PhD in Elverum.
That's not bad. Being from Kolbotn. Now, okay, but Voivod, I to be honest, and I don't think I heard the early Voivod stuff. How is that? Is that like dissonant half?
It's not that dissonant either. It's just a lot of drums and vocals. And
is it aggressive?
Yeah, it's aggressive, but it didn't click with me.
No.
It didn't click with me until Killing Technology came in '87, where they were, playing a bit more thrashy, but they were even then started to be more outlandish. The two first Voivod are really, really tough and hard albums, and it's really hard to grasp it.
But what are their influences? You know?
That was probably. I'm thinking it was Venom, but they would not, or they would say maybe GBH or Discharge or stuff
rock.
like
hardcore punk and stuff.
Probably, but they have had this artist thing for, forever. Yeah. Probably a bit more like Mayhem when they're thinking artistry.
And the same about
and they will mention. They will mention more of what they feel their influences were, and they will take
and cover over the obvious part.
Stuff that doesn't sound like that it actually sounded like.
Yes. I spoke to Yusuf the other day, actually.
Yeah, okay.
And he's kind of like that. He's like a bit more in the art than the influence. You know what I mean? And you played with him, you probably know this. He wanted to always evolve instead of follow,
Okay.
In his words.
Yeah, well, I didn't play that long with those guys. I mean, he was a drummer then.
Okay.
So he was probably making some of the riffs. But at the time I was playing there, it seemed like it was mostly Draug Aldran's riffs that had some. I was thinking always, man, this stuff sounds
far out, like an alternative.
No, not far out.
Yeah.
It was early Damascus. It sounded like I could do like I'm hearing a lot of Iron Maiden here. I can do bass stuff that's diverging from the riffs.
Yeah, sure.
So I would jam almost with the Damascus, and Damascus changed really quickly after I was there.
Yeah.
So and then I was out in early '95 or something.
You recorded one album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
as a bass player.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but Voivod was like thinking outside the box then.
Well, they kind of were, but they sound like just asphalt on the two first albums, War and Pain and Roar.
Yeah.
And with the album art as well, it just sounds like some kind of war machine, and it sounds and looks better than what I cannot get that much out of it. Probably because of my background from the 60s and 70s, stuff like Uriah Heep. I would be hooked. I would be hooked more on stuff like Maiden.
Yeah.
I'm
accessible.
Yeah. I'm more musical in sort of way.
I need to check it out
don't
afterwards.
need. I'm not going out there to destroy. I'm going out.
It's your taste.
But they probably went out there to destroy.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
And the generation right before me, like the people in the age group, like born 68, 69, they were probably a lot of those guys that were sending just tons and tons of letters to Voivod, like, you're the rawest band, stuff like that. So they had a lot of, what I read anyway, they had a lot of support and following. And I just read the same thing with Scandinavian Metal Attack when Börje Forsberg put that out with just a freak accident that they had battery on there. He would get most of the feedback from, seemed like in 83, 84 and 85 there was a lot of freaks from around the world. They would write letters to get the harder stuff because you had a lot of the stuff that wasn't really hard out there.
Yep.
You didn't have enough of the hard stuff, and I'm guessing a lot of that came because of Venom. But I didn't check out Venom. So it would be different for me probably if I was born at the same time as Øystein and Jørn.
Yeah.
Then I would probably know them as well, and then we would go through different ways. I came a little bit later, and there was a lot more emphasis on just the music. And also my way was kind of always out of the more brutal asphalt stuff. Yeah. As I went from Live Evil with Black Sabbath to more or less Iron Maiden, and then on to Slayer, and I think Slayer is not out there to crush or destroy. I can hear they're always really musical in what they're doing.
In the early stuff, at least.
I'm thinking all the way, just differently. I'm thinking when I hear my fave song from Hell Awaits is "At Dawn They Sleep." To me, that's like they are composing. Yeah. They're not, but you know, it has this aura of evil because of all the reverb and the sound itself.
Organized chaos.
And also, yes. Yeah. In a much different. If you put the Hell Awaits beside the two first Voivod, there's just a world of difference to me.
Yeah.
In what they are trying to achieve there. One of the bands is actually trying to achieve music. Other ones is there's some art crushing feeling of a tank or something. Going further. No?
This leads us to your first kind of collaborations here now as a musician. How did that come about?
It came about slow. I had no access to drum kit, but I would be out with a cousin of mine, and he had a drum kit in a basement that was full of other what you have in basements, just stuff, axes fixing stuff, things, wrenches, and he also had stereo there, so we would put on the Hammersmith album from live album, and he was trying to drum to it, and I was trying also to drum to it. And then drumming to a live album is a bad idea, but at the time I was thinking, okay, drumming to a record, why not try that? So I probably had some money around from my birthday in '86, and I said, I'm buying that drum kit.
Yeah.
And he would like, you can have it, you can just buy it. We'll drive it out to you. And put it in the attic of Anders Risberger's place in Sofiemyr, and then we started recording immediately.
Okay.
We couldn't play. It was a disaster. But I just discovered the underground, and that there was something called demos and anything like that.
Yes.
So, okay,
DIY.
This is my new world.
Yeah.
This is my new world.
Yep.
A new world opened, and that's the whole story, really. It was just It was hard in the beginning because we sucked so much.
But there were 2 of you recording?
Yeah, 2, but then we got Kjetil Olsen, Jørgen Thorsen, and a little bit different people trying out. And then after a while, Ivar Enger and Dag Nilsen came into it. Anders Risberg was still there, but he didn't rehearse that much. And it was difficult. He played the guitar the other way, you know.
Oh, he was left-handed?
Yeah, and he would just play one note and not two. Yeah. And if they played 2, he had difficulty, so you just put the 1, so you had the 5 bar, which it doesn't sound. It was difficult. So after a while, we had to have a new guitarist.
But did you jump onto the Slayer-ish kind of riffing and song structures at once, or where did you dabble music-wise?
Well, since we couldn't play at all, I would think I could do it myself because I heard other bands that were untight.
Yeah.
Because of the stupid recording system that was used on Show No Mercy by Slayer, he had to put on cymbals afterwards.
Really?
Yes, that's why it sounds all wonky. It sounds like Dave Lombardo cannot play on the first Slayer album. It sounds off. I would hear that like easily, like this is not working, something's wrong. And I'm thinking, whenever I heard wrong stuff, I was thinking, I can have a band myself. I would hear Cryptic Slaughter, and they don't finish their songs at the same time. Okay, and that's being released. They're from the States, and I can go here and buy their album.
Yep.
Like, okay, it's okay for me to try. And I never had any aspirations of becoming as good as what I thought was the best, and it was Iron Maiden.
Well, you were young. Did you focus on speed?
Yeah, I focused some on speed, and I wanted speed and heaviness. I wanted from fast to slow.
Yeah,
I've been through a lot of slow with Uriah Heep and then Black Sabbath and stuff, and always most of the bands had slow songs and faster songs anyway. It's a part of heavy metal. There weren't many speed metal bands, the way I saw it, that would just play fast. Maybe some Gravedigger or something like that. Usually you had some fast songs and some slow songs on heavy metal albums. And I would figure, okay, this speed metal thing must be the fast songs.
Yeah.
And then the slow songs are just regular heavy metal. And if it's really slow, then it's Black Sabbath. And then I learned that the Black Sabbath was called Doom, with a 1986 album from Candlemass. And I was like, okay, now I have a label for it.
Yes.
Then I'll stick to that. I'll take Doom, and I'll take all the good parts.
Yep.
I just had a humongous problem mixing these things. And I still do. So I think when we had the most success with Darkthrone was the times when we would willingly, or
are you talking personal success now?
No, I'm talking for Darkthrone
commercial
as a band.
Success?
No, success in any way.
Yeah.
We would force ourselves not to play all the different styles, but instead try to focus on one thing. That's when it started to go well.
Like when you went into crust punk stuff and
only... That's when from the black metal, we played
only death metal.
Now in all the way until early '89, we played a lot of different stuff. Tolkandra demo is just riddled with lots of different stuff, from death metal to doom metal to thrash metal, and then some acoustic stuff in between as well. And we didn't really do that afterwards, which is a shame. Because if we could do it in early '89, we could do it now as well.
Yes, right.
I want to go that route. We'll see. It doesn't seem like it will happen on the next album, but we'll see.
Which route was that, you said?
You have some acoustic guitar in the songs.
Yeah. He's attacking you here. You had it quite a bit on the Valkyria and stuff like that.
Yeah, just in the beginning of the song. I'm talking about within the songs.
Yeah, cool.
Like Metallica would have.
Yes. Okay,
anyway. So we changed and just did pretty much just death metal from the summer of '89 and
then Ted was in the band already.
But he started already in mid '88.
Yeah,
he was the new guitarist.
He told me the story about when you two met at the train station, and you told him to look for a guy with a bolleklepp or the kind of ball on the head cut.
Yeah, I was looking like a little Lord Fauntleroy. Fauntleroy, little Lord Fauntleroy. You have to look that up. Yeah, I definitely had that style. But the thing is, I've been looking at the Damage Inc. magazine that Maniac had printed, really professional.
Did he go to Skedsmohallen in '86 and actually meet the guys and have sort of a...
I don't know. I didn't go to gigs. I played my first gig in Follow Rocken May or April '88 before I'd ever seen a band play a gig.
Never been on a concert?
Nope.
Wow.
I was not interested either. I always declined. I don't want to see Metallica. I don't want to see Iron Maiden.
How come?
How come? I never had the urge. Never had any urge to see what I was worshipping on album. I knew from the beginning that I had to share that with a lot of different people.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have the same sounds.
It's not your own.
No, it's not my own, and I wouldn't have the same sound as I have on the album. I just want to hear the album again and again and again and again and again. That's why you want to hear For Those About to Rock, because you just want that fucking sound.
That's true.
You don't want any different mix of it or anything like that.
No, that's true. When I see AC/DC today, I get let down because it's not that album. So I know what you mean. But it's fascinating that you are kind of programmed that way, because I have always dug the albums, but I always went to shows.
Well, that's why it's easy for me to just ghost. I invented ghosting, man. I was never really here.
Just lurking about, yes.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I was already ghosting. In my first parties I went to, I was ghosting. I would get my fill and then get out of there in 10 and half past 10 or something like that. I always like to do that out on the town as well, just suddenly disappear.
But please tell me, your first show personally, that was with Darkthrone at some sort of a rock contest, was that it? No. Or was
Follow Rocken.
Follow
Rocken. Mayhem played Follow Rocken, maybe 84, but that must have been, they must have been playing a little bit before they formed the band, if they played Follow Rocken already in 84. Yeah. Because I'm thinking, when I think about Mayhem, I'm seeing Follow Rocken 84, but maybe it's way more logical than that they did 85. We did 88.
Yes.
Follow Rocken is, local, where local bands can come and play to an audience, which is basically your friends.
Yep. At a school
and
or
the
something?
other bands had nothing to do with the school. It's kulturmønstring.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I don't play with those.
Follow Rock. Not really a contest, but and I have a tape of it as well.
Really?
From the two songs.
Is that out somewhere?
No, it's
YouTube
not.
or?
No, it's not.
Hey, Peaceville, listen up.
Yeah, they know about it, but it sounds like crap because it was recorded by a dictaphone, a little dictator. Yes, on a dictaphone by the Valhall guys who were there. And
how long set did you perform? A couple of songs?
Probably 2 long songs, I think.
Yeah.
And already then I wanted long, epic songs.
Yeah.
And we kept on doing that until all the releases with the second demo, third demo to Kandra, and then we didn't anymore.
Yeah.
We just went straight for death metal, and then just months after we had the record deal that we needed. Okay, so we started.
That was Peaceville at once, right? Straight to Peaceville?
Yeah, but we got like 7 offers or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I've been good at sending the demos to cool magazines. Mm. We didn't get that good. We weren't as good as perhaps Asphyx, and that was a band that was sort of at the same time with us.
Okay.
Asphyx, and I think they were better, but
we
got a better deal or something.
What did Peaceville listen to that triggered the contract?
They probably thought, okay, it is weird to have a demo that's a live recording, and
it was a live show. We
already have Autopsy, and I was thinking, like, could you just listen to it again? Because I don't know what I didn't keep a copy of the letter, but I probably wrote, just listen to it again, please. I might have said we have other offers or something like that. I don't know, but we had.
Yeah, sure.
But we didn't have any good offers.
They didn't know that.
No, we had on the same label as Sempiternal Death Rain was on, for instance.
Okay.
Yeah, the label offer from there, which was something blah 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 2000. I don't remember the label. Really obscure.
Did you correspond directly with Hammy?
No, I don't know. But when we got the deal, and I just started drinking, and they always claimed I was drinking, calling them when I was drunk. Right. I was probably half drunk, but I wasn't drunk because it was not humanly possible. Because I left work at 3:30, and they were just in the offices until 7 or something like that. So you can't get totally fucking plastered in that time. But they were just back and forth through the phone a lot. But that was especially when it came to year later, 1.5 years later, about the Blaze Northern Sky thing, which they thought would be sounding like a death metal album with death metal sound.
That was a Goat Lord
crossover. I was so let down that they didn't understand that even more albums with this Sunlight Studios sound would just be, that would be run of the mill. And I was thinking that was the reason why they didn't wanted to sign us in the first place, like they already had an Autopsy or something like that.
But it's safe, you know?
Yeah. And that's not what we weren't thinking safe at the time.
Of course not.
They were thinking safe. Yep. Of course they were, because they had Autopsy, and maybe they were thinking, shit, Autopsy fucking rules, but they don't have this clean, polished sound, and now we have another band that just are starting to think for themselves. Autopsy and Darkthrone thinking for themselves. This is not good. We need something that's flashy.
You went the opposite way.
It's good for both parts that we did, but at the time...
But they didn't know that at the time, you know. You didn't know that at the time. So that's the great part of your story, that this is a huge turn. Look what happened, man. Look today.
Yeah, but we were just having uglier and uglier sound from then on, which didn't help us.
Thank you, Gylve, for doing that.
Anyway, the story after that is not as interesting, but... The whole thing why I started to play even, I just have to repeat that it's because I heard a lot of bands on album that were really far from the playing abilities of what I could hear on Mob Rules or by Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden. And I was thinking, okay, there is really... And then I started, getting into the underground in 87. The entire 87 went just to network, which is a part of your job now, to network. My job is to de-establish network, which I've done. Because I don't want to grow and grow and grow. It's enough, but you still have to work on the... And it's always worth something. It's always worth something to have a cool network.
Absolutely. I'm sitting here now.
Yeah, well, it's not much I can help with anymore. But it was better to know me in 2008. I could do a lot of stuff.
But I'm not here to use you, man. We're buddies. Cheers.
Oh, I'm not really lifting. I'm lifting this finger today. I'm even drinking out for the first time since forever.
You're enjoying it, right? It's okay?
Now, usually I just drink at home because then I can get 2 really good beers for the price of this.
That's true. It's overpriced shit. But, I don't know.
Jesus, I just read a whole article about Norwegian beer taxes, but the whole collaborations between the stores and beeropoly they have here is so sick that you want to puke before you've drunk your beer.
I don't look at the check. I only buy the beer and pretend it's almost free.
Oh, well, I gotta start drinking a little bit faster. But well,
that's cool.
You think the fascinating stuff is around the switch of the Blazing Northern Sky, and rightfully so. Probably sizes like Stian Fossum has said that's when Darkthrone is starting to get interesting. But for me, I stick to the first years. I'm thinking more about the 80s and and how it all came to be. It wasn't a long time ago since I sent Ted a text precisely about that. I don't think a lot about the 30 years that went by since 1990, but I think a lot about 86, 87, 88.
The formative years.
Yeah, formative too, but for all the stuff that we didn't continue with the style we had set up in 88 and early 89. We went on to force ourselves to do like, okay, we gotta just focus on death metal now. It wasn't that natural for us.
But one question I do have is that the transition from going into, what was it, creative studios to record Under a Funeral Moon, and then you all of a sudden created Transilvanian Hunger on your own. How was that transition? How come you went from going to somebody to produce an album to do it yourself?
Hold that thought. I got to take you through the story because when it came to the death metal tape that got us the deal, the Chrome Neck tape, it was pretty much death metal. But then we started on the Soulside Journey album again. Yep. We started drawing in a little bit doom, and suddenly there was a Celtic Frost riff. Something was happening. We were slowly slipping into where we came from. That was much more varied style.
Yes.
And then when we finally got enough money to do an organic album, we booked the creative studios. We're happy with that. Then we wanted to change and just play black metal, but we didn't have enough time to write pure black metal songs. So we're back with Blazing Northern Sky. We're back into a style that has both death metal and black metal, and also doom metal stuff within.
But with the sound.
But that was accidental. It wasn't supposed to be that way. It was out of that, like we didn't have enough time, and the studio time was booked. Man, there was like, that was the holy grail. Yep. We had to get it done. Yep. So then we did Under a Funeral Moon. Then we felt again we pushed ourselves to do just one style.
Yep.
And I always said that's the best black metal album we did. The only total black metal album we did, and I always champion that in my heart, but I find myself not listening to that as much as even the old demos. I listen to that way more now, and then it's not natural for us to keep to just one style. But the two times we did, we accomplished something out of it.
Of course.
But then again, with the Blazing Northern Sky, when we didn't, that also led to great stuff. So I'm thinking, doesn't matter what we do. We just now we're just doing what we need to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where we are now.
That is natural.
And then Ted is really good at staying within the bounds that he created for himself, riff-wise.
Yeah.
And he sometimes goes out a little of that way, but I just keep changing all the time. But the last albums I did, I was back into the 88 stuff where I left off, and I just wanted to see, okay, I'll build from there again. Said it in many interviews, but not many people seem to understand this. But I just want to... I'm going back to 88, and I'm starting to just...
Okay.
Now we can play, and we can play with palm mute, jug, jug, jug. We can do that now. We could never do that. We did 15 albums without fucking jug, jug, jug. That's a part of metal.
Yeah, of course.
Now we're taking from that part of metal.
Yeah, do
both. It's stupid for us to be that inspired by Metallica and never have palm mute. I'm sorry, but it's so important for us. With the palm mute thing and the metal we came from was a lot of palm muting, and I'm taking it there, man. And I have done that for.
Yeah, I think it's cool to not do too much of it, to even it out. You can have open string riffs and you can have some muting, but you don't have to only.
No, but we had open strings for
A long time.
Yeah. So,
So you're tired of it?
No, I'm not tired of it, but we need some palm mute stuff, and we've had it now, and it works perfectly for the both of us.
Yeah.
I like making it, Ted likes playing it.
Yes.
The fun thing is that when we did play fast like that,
Yeah, blast beat stuff.
yeah, but we played really slow blast beats most of the time, like not really fast. But then still, Ted would start to, and this is a known phenomena, he'd start to turn the beat in his head if it was too long.
Oh. Yeah. Yep, I know the problem.
And then I started to think back, and that's why the gigs were never that tight, because someone was always okay.
Yep. The snare and the bass drum, it confuses.
Changes place because it's too.
Yep.
And then I was so happy when Ted said, "Why didn't you tell me 25 years ago? We would we would be here already." But you know,
ask for only kick in the monitor. That's the way to go. That's what I do.
But anyway, but it was still when we played studio.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when we rehearsed, and so he said that when we were doing the previous album, and I was like, okay, so we'll never do it again. This is fantastic, because we haven't done it in a while either, but now I know the reason. This is very helpful for me. I didn't know in '92, when we were done with the Under a Funeral Moon album. When we were done with the Under a Funeral Moon album, the guys had already moved like a half a year before that. We were seldomly meeting for rehearsals. Come '92 January till we went to the studio in June, I think, or June '92 for Under a Funeral Moon. We couldn't meet that much because they had moved far away.
No rehearsing then. There's into the studio.
And it didn't matter if both of them had moved or just one of them. It would still cripple our rehearsal schedule.
Of course.
And I was probably being a squirrely me, and they were just the cool guys, you know, and they were getting really into the idea that, and they were probably right, the Helvete store that started in August, September '91.
Yeah. Was it that early? Okay,
yeah. It attracted too many people just hanging around there.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing that was usually just by mail became like you met the people, and I'm thinking they were a little bit into it in the beginning, but soon they got really tired of it. And they weren't out on the town much either.
No.
I had steady job since '88. So there was a different situation for me all the time. And I worked 5-minute walk from Elm Street and 10-minute walk from Helvete store.
Yeah. Oh, so you worked in Oslo?
Yeah, I worked in the Post Giro building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from '88 till '93. Then I just changed to the Post terminals, the same building.
And then you lived here too? Got a flat?
No.
You went to Kolbotn back home each night?
No, I was out in Vinterbro.
Vinterbro. Yeah, sure. Tusenfryd.
Anyway.
So you stuck around when the guys left then, in the scene, if you could call it a scene?
Yeah, I don't think they were playing that much at the time either. They just wanted to get away from everything. They just went stone grim, man.
I know Ted did. I don't know, Ivar, I don't know that guy, so...
Well, he also went away, but I don't know if that was precisely in '91. I don't know. The only thing I know that we didn't rehearse, we had no possibilities of rehearsing after the Under a Funeral Moon album was done.
Yeah.
Which was a shame, because after the Blazing Northern Sky album that was recorded in August '91, I had said to them, I have completely faith in you. You just go make your songs. As far as you make your songs, Kulto, and I make mine.
Yeah.
And we play them regardless. No doubts, no criticism. No questioning.
No.
And that went great for me, but I'm thinking they got enough of me, they got enough of the Helvete crowd, they got enough of Oslo, and everything like that. They just think, this is wrong. Oslo is wrong. Oslo is not black metal. So get away.
But, you know.
And then, anyway, I got married, and they had their lives, and Darkthrone was actually not existing from '92 until more or less '96, when we teamed up to do the Total Death album.
Oh, yeah?
But then what happened was I was sitting in '93 at work, This was 1 year and some months after we had recorded Under a Funeral Moon, and I got the idea for the riff thing for Transilvanian Hunger. And I had Necroil Studios at my home always, because I had started to play in Valhall again because I was bored.
Because the guys were away.
Yeah, I liked playing. I like,
of course, maintaining, something.
I had gotten used to rehearsing.
Yeah.
Now I don't rehearse anymore. I really like not rehearsing, but actually,
you should.
I've been missing
fun, man.
it. But it means we have to be here in Kolbotn.
Yeah, that's true. So that's.
I don't want to rehearse any other place. I don't want.
You want to? Okay, you want to keep
we
it local.
rehearsed in Trysil and stuff like that in the late
1998.
It was probably a hassle for Ted as well. We had to actually rehearse sometimes in places that smell like this, eggs.
It does smell like eggs in here.
Anyway.
So
then I got the idea, and then 2 weeks later I had the album done, because I was doing it by blueprint. This album, just one tempo, and it would be the tempo that's slow blast beat, but still cheating blast beat. I listened to the entire Soulside Journey album the other day, and it goes almost equally as fast, but then I was obsessed by not cheating, because it was supposed to be a really band thing.
Yes.
And inspired by Satyrs, but when it came to Transilvanian Hunger, it was simplicity, monotony, and it has no rhythm change until first song on side B.
But what influenced that? The choice to do it like that?
It was that we hadn't done it before.
Okay.
And then I found, because when I did the Transilvanian Hunger song, I found by chance I couldn't sit at work and turn the guitars.
No.
So when I had the guitars and the bass and the drums done for Transilvanian Hunger, I'm thinking all this slow finger moving stuff, which I took from Bathory and not from Snorre or Øystein, because they use different stuff to make the Norwegian black metal stuff. I take from Bathory the simplest way. He does it the first time in Call from the Grave. That's the first time he does it. Just a little finger move, and I'm thinking, okay, he does that more on Blood, Fire, Death. I'm going all the way with this technique, because when I'd done the Transilvanian Hunger song, it was just, yes, the guitars work so well together here. The aura of this recording is different to any of the recordings I've done before on this studio, which were quite a lot of recordings and several different styles, but then it just clicked. However, the background hiss is really, really high. I was checking the monitor when I taken the guitars down. It was still on 5, and I think 8 was red or something like that, and 12 or 10 was max. And I'd go like, okay, that's risky. I've never heard that much hissing on any album. But when I play the instruments, you can't hear the hissing. No. The hissing comes back when I turn down.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a high gain amp on full with a gain pedal on top.
Yes. You can tell me that. I don't know anything about this stuff, man. I don't know anything about it. I would just take what was there in the rehearsal room. I'm stealing this guitar from Val, dude. I would just turn the sound, and then I got lucky because the two guitars playing the finger stuff, they correspond really well with the bass sound I also had. And I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get while the getting's good. So I just did 7 more of the same style.
So it's quickly done then?
Really quick, I think 2 weeks.
Only guitars first and then drums?
No.
Drums in memory, right?
No, you have to make the song first in your mind.
Yes.
Or on the guitar.
Yeah.
Then write down how many times for 8.
Yep.
then the other riffs in the head. Then you go back behind the drum kit with the note and just remember the whole thing and use the notes as crutches. And then, really primitive with the 4-track. I could not edit anything.
No,
so
of course.
It had to be in one take.
Yes. So the drums were your kind of metronome.
You have to have the drums
metronome.
first. You have to have the drums first.
Yeah,
If you put the guitars first and then try to play drums on it, it will be untight in a way that at least any drummer out there could not listen to.
Yeah. Yes.
So
true.
for my own sake, I knew I had to do the drums first and then guitars. And I say that to everyone. You have to do the drums first. And I'm thinking everyone that programs drums or anything like that, they know that they're doing that first, and then because they know what they're you have to do it like that. I'm thinking somebody out there must be able to do it perfect with the guitars first and then play drums after it. But I think that's a slippery slope. It can really fast just fuck up everything.
If you record with the metronome, then it's doable that way. But you will lose every variation in beat and the feeling of it then.
I'd like to see a metronome in that rehearsal place. Rehearsal place was my living room, by the way.
That's cool.
So actually that was probably what killed my father.
All the sounds?
No, fuck, I never thought about how loud it would be. I was thinking, it's different units, it can't be that loud. Probably was really horrible.
Thin walls, old house.
But I'm not laughing, I'm feeling really bad about it.
That's probably not why. I played at home too.
Stress could just build up, man, and I was just a factor.
Yeah, he knew you, he knew his son. Like my father knew me.
I don't think he knew me, actually.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
But then we can skip some parts, of course.
So we're going to make that musical?
You have to do that musical, man. Let's figure it out afterwards.
Does Reese Witherspoon do musicals?
Does she?
I was always asked from the 90s and onwards who was supposed to play me in the movie, and I always said Reese Witherspoon because it was so ridiculous. But she turned around her career. She's got real credibility now. I'm still saying Reese Witherspoon when I get the question.
Okay, since you're mentioning
she's gotten to me.
You're mentioning the goddamn movie. Have you seen it?
No, and I didn't see Until the Light Takes Us either. And at the time I was doing.
When is that recorded?
Probably lots of years, probably some filming in 2001, 2002 until 2005. Also, they did something, perhaps.
Yeah, they went to your flat and stuff, and
They were living here, for crying out loud. Aaron died, and then, but that was some years ago, so that was sad. But I was doing some phone interviews. I don't do that anymore. But I was doing some phoners, and I could tell that the journalist didn't believe when I said that I hadn't seen the movie. But I hadn't seen the movie, and I haven't seen the Lords of Chaos movie.
Yeah. Obviously I've seen it, but it's a movie based on something. What can you do? Every movie out there is based on something.
So, we were talking. You were talking with Mannheim, and I was talking to Helle about that confusion about the Death Crush other version stuff.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Ask him, man. I don't even own it.
His memory got a little bit blurry there in '87, but he was it was great to hear him talk about times up to that. But it was remembering. It was starting to get flaky around mid '87 because it was starting. Was it '87? Was it '88?
Yeah, but
but I think I was there in October in '87. And they were rehearsing at the pig pen.
Yeah.
The one that has the alt for Ingenting for Norge writing on the side from old photos. They were there, and there was Torben from Vomit on the drums and Kittil singing.
Yeah. Sure.
It was so loud, and I was such a wimp. I had to go out all the time. I could just be in for like a minute. It was so fucking loud. It was a small pig pen.
No earplugs?
But no earplugs. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that because I didn't come prepared. And also, I didn't think you could play it that loud. I mean, I had like a tractor.
Oh yeah, hørselvern.
What the hell is that?
It's
when you drive a tractor, you have
air protectors. Let's call them that.
I used that when I was rehearsing with Darkthrone. So we didn't play that loud. And then I went there without those, and they played real loud.
And now you have tinnitus?
Yeah, it was that's not because of that. It's because of family stuff that I have.
But you have
really
it?
bad. Yeah, but I have on both ears tinnitus. But
me too.
But since 91 or something, my one ear got fucked up totally.
Okay.
Can't listen to whistling, for instance, and at least not whistling with or any organic stuff that sort of bounces off in the recording. That's out. I can't do it. It just crackles in my ear. Specific frequencies. Yeah. I can still listen to Roger Whittaker whistle, but
Gylve, after a night out or a concert, and I go to bed alone in a dark room and lay down and try to sleep, it's screaming inside my head.
Yeah.
But that's because
I stopped going to concerts, but that's not the reason really. I learned to live with it, but I can't go to sleep without a TV on or something.
You need some white noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, sure. Actually, because it's the thing inside there. You can't dig it out.
No, what was leading? Yeah, because then I know that he had quit, right?
Yeah.
And he probably quit in summer of '87. And then the Death Crush was recorded in Creative Studios in February and March in '87. And I guess Euronymous was real quick into making a cassette cover.
Yes. It's not two separate things. It's the same thing, but it's on a vinyl and on a cassette. It's the same master.
Same sound, except the outro is mixed differently.
You talked about something...
Only the outro. All the little girls are singing. All the little girls are too. They took that from a single with the Young Ones.
Okay.
They were really... they were the Young Ones were the same guys, pretty much, English comedians that did the Bad News and the Bad News 2 stuff, which was the British Spinal Tap stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, they had all the little flowers are singing.
You know what? I've seen that actually.
And all the little flowers are singing are from a single that they did. And then I guess Euronymous had a single, and they're doing their version of it in the Creative Studios. And then they did a different mix on the outro.
Yeah.
For the album, but the mix itself is pretty much the same, because they couldn't have had, the way I'm thinking, they couldn't have made a different version in Creative Studios, because that was one hell of a expensive studio.
Yeah. But my thought is that if it was a different version, it would probably be a rehearsal tape recording, if it were two separate things, but it's obviously not.
And they might have included a rehearsal version on some of the tapes, but not all of the tapes.
No, that's true.
Because I think they did that for some friends. They put some extras on the Pure Fucking Armageddon tape.
This was mass copied and sold and
mailed. Yeah, the Death Crush tape was probably mass copied until they got the album, but then Euronymous never knew how much time it would take until they got the album from the printers.
No, that's true.
He also didn't know that it was going to be pink. He didn't know these things.
That's true.
And what I don't know is where they sent it. Did they send it to Poland? Did they send it
to get it printed?
To get it printed? I don't think Norway. He probably thought,
not.
We used all that money in Creative Studios. We got to go for the cheapest deal to get the Death Crush printed.
Yep.
And the months went on.
Of course.
So I'm thinking, and this was, I should have Mannheim right here, but
I could call him.
I don't know what month it came, but I'm thinking maybe as late as September or maybe even October 87 they got the physical thing.
Yeah.
I remember being there, and I remember Øystein was in his own bubble because he was correcting and fixing.
Mr. Prince or...
Yeah.
Do you have yours?
No, I had the tape.
Oh, you never had the vinyl?
No, why would I? It was as exact a recording as the tape. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time.
Yeah.
I needed all the money for Darkthrone purposes. But
probably sounded better on the vinyl though, on the turntable, don't you think?
My brother was at a friend in Follow once, some years later, and he had just got rid of vinyl because it was that time. And he had also thrown away the Death Crush.
Oh,
and
man.
my brother had seen the logo on my backpack, and he thought, "Hey, my brother likes this. Let me have it." So he fixed me a copy, but it's really worn. His copy.
Oh, so you have
and
one?
I didn't wear it out because I had the tape.
But you have it then?
Yeah, but it was never my copy. It was just some guy's copy that my brother fixed.
Yeah, sure, but it's yours now.
Yeah, but the tape it's mine.
Yeah, sure.
There is some tape on
the top there.
On the top because I recorded my own stuff behind and on the B side of my tape.
Oh man!
It was the first time I tried to record myself. You know how you do that? You do the drums again. You take the drums, put it in the stereo, and then it would boom out in the room. And then you try to do like guitar and
primitive,
very primitive,
several
and
tracks.
it sounds worse than Black Death stuff.
But that's so cool, man. That's what I love. That's
so you want that tape? You don't want my Death Crush vinyl.
I want to hear your demo done through your speakers with the drums and stuff.
You don't want to hear it.
Man.
It doesn't make much sense, that music. Well,
I want to know, how was it to play live?
It was grueling. Again, it was the problem with the...
In the paint era?
With the fast stuff. When we did the fast stuff, some would change the beats in their heads and then get... untight when we came to a new riff that was supposed to be played.
But you did tight shows, I suppose.
No, it wasn't that tight. I think it was difficult.
Like you went to Finland, right? And played a tour?
Yeah, well, we weren't the tightest band. We weren't like a live band. It was just like, seemed like there was something we needed to do. I think I read that even Bathory had some shows in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, just... in the really tiny beginning.
That's interesting.
No, it's not.
It is?
No, I'm thinking...
How could that have been, you know?
They would have not been as cool as the albums, dude.
Probably not.
And it's the albums that count for me. No, I don't think we did very tight. Even just having one person in the rehearsal place would change the vibe for me.
Yeah, okay, yes, I see that.
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah. By the way, have you heard about the Finnish funeral doom pioneers' skepticism?
I probably heard them once. It's a good chance I heard them.
Really slow stuff.
Yeah, but I don't like dogmatic doom. That was my problem with Winter. Yeah. Because Winter had the Servants of the Warsman song that was really... Celtic Frost, and then song 3 or something on the demo was like really just slow, and then the Winter album came. Everything was slow. I don't want just slow. So
my point is that
I didn't like dogmatic doom. I thought it was like dogmatic. It was still the way they were making doom the way I made Transylvanian Hunger.
This is like, it's a church organ and it's like...
No, it's too slow for me. I can't... I need doom metal the other way.
Back to the point. The guy who plays the organ there is called Iiro. A Finnish bloke, obviously, because they're from Finland. I'm doing a collaboration with him now, and he went and saw you guys on that run you did back then.
He was like, not slow enough!
Probably. But I met him in London recently, and he told me it was a great experience to see you guys up there, you know. How was it? Like medium halls? And how was it?
No, Lahti Hall was pretty big, if it was the Lahti Hall. But then I have this thing. I'm really into biathlon, and when you ask a lot of the biathlon athletes what was the race like, they will often be like, I don't remember.
Okay,
and I would be the same thing with me playing live. I would do something that was so far away from my comfort zone that my mind would just erase it.
Yes.
And that was weird. And then after I stopped playing live in 91 and then was forced and coerced into doing another one, then I noticed it happened again. And before I could probably wonder, well, was it because I drank a little bit, or why am I forgetting stuff? But at this particular show, I just had one bottle Carlsberg, you know those.
Before you went on?
Yes.
Okay.
And still don't remember shit. The only thing I remember was Ted saying, "This is it. After this one, we're off."
He said it before you went on?
No, before the third song.
Oh, yeah.
And then, okay.
Is that the Rockefeller one?
Yeah,
in 96?
and then I just played it, and then I just went off.
So
quicker than he did, so most people thought I was the one that got pissed somehow.
You got shorter route.
And I was like, he had told me, so I'm good at taking...
So you didn't play the complete set?
No, just 3 songs, I think.
Okay.
And that was horrible for the people that paid.
I think, yeah...
But don't look at me.
No,
we had
no.
rehearsed the whole set.
Yeah, but that become one of those shows, you know, like when Sex Pistols played Oslo in '77, maybe 200 people was in the room and 3,000 have been there. You know?
Yeah, but the Rockefeller, there was a lot of people there. I mean, you can stash a lot of people into Rockefeller.
Is that the first Inferno?
No.
It was like a
first Inferno was like
kind of thing.
99, 2000. Yeah, no, it was all Satyr setup.
Yeah, like Moonfog Night kind of thing.
Let's not go into that.
Let's not. But I have one question regarding, is almost regarding Satyr, but it's something that I discovered that I thought sounded quite cool actually, and that is a little project you called Eibon.
Oh yeah.
What's that? Tell us the deal.
Well, again, I'm not a businessman. Satyr is a businessman.
Yeah.
That's why he's setting up a side project with 2 Americans. I wouldn't. How would I do that? It's crazy.
But you're involved.
Yeah, it was a good track as well, pretty much. And what's cool with the ears of Wohngraven is he never jumped on a stupid typewriter bass drum sound thing.
No.
He was always understanding that the drums have to be in piece here. It has to be like more 70s style.
Where is that recorded, that song?
Probably at it's vis-a-vis Blå now at Brenneriet. It was a big expensive studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the
was
river
that Rainbow
there,
or whatever was it called? I don't know. It's probably huge mixing desk.
All of you guys gathered there, or did some of the Americans do that back in the States?
No, there must have been some sending over stuff.
Okay,
and
tapes,
then, and then I don't know, but all I remember was doing the drums there. I was just sick and tired after that, so I just played.
So he just asked you to come. Hey, show up. Let's do a song.
We went also over to the States and lived with Anselmo in his house. Yeah, and they had a rehearsal there.
Where was that? Texas or something?
No, it was Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay, yeah. How was that?
It was weird. I don't like being cooped up in anywhere where I can't take public transport, and that also goes for when we recorded Ravishing Grimness and Plague Wielder up in Toten. It was just a farm, and I couldn't go where I want to go. Yeah, but I can't go. I can't go off.
No, you're stuck. You're stuck.
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
You cannot stuck me. It's a good quote, man. You cannot stuck me. You can't stuck me, and you which means also you shouldn't.
No.
Because I'll just.
But how long did you stay over there in Louisiana?
Monday till Sunday, quite a while, a week.
And you basically that was.
But we didn't record anything there.
Was it because of that project?
Yep.
You were kind of just writing the song or something, or?
No, well, we were trying to, rehearse together.
Okay, so he had a place there with the rehearsal set up.
Yeah, he had a whole house, man. Pantera.
It's kind of rich, I suppose.
Yeah, but they sold a lot of albums in the 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have 6 million inhabitants here at that time, 20 years ago, and they had 350 million at the time.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ballpark. So he had money probably, but that doesn't mean that he was super happy. I mean, he's gone through troubles as well.
But how was
money doesn't solve, being unhappy and whatever.
How was it to make that song?
We made several. I think.
Where are they?
Some riffs. No, I have a CD, but I think Vongraven asked if it was okay if we used some of the riffs for some of his songs, so they could be on some Satyricon songs from the 10s or the.
But why was it?
It's not important.
Why was it shelved? Why was it shelved? The project. It's only one song out there. Wasn't there supposed to be an album or something?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure. Well, I don't think any of us knows.
It only flew apart at some point.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on continuing. I don't know. Killjoy was there, but it was just vocals.
Yeah.
To him, he could have done it, The other thing took a lot of collaborations. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And then me and Vongraven had a final falling out some years later too, and it was just natural that it broke apart.
But then the project was.
The thing is, I got out of my depression and I did a lot of Darkthrone again.
Yes.
And at the time of the Eibon thing, I hadn't done anything since '96. I'd done 2 songs since '96. I've been depressed. '98, '99. Year 2000, 2001, 2002, I'm back. Boom. The Eibon thing was we could have done that any time. It didn't take any energy.
When was it?
We just make riffs. It was probably the year 2000.
Okay.
But I was thinking today, it could have been, I don't know if it was 2000, 2001, but I don't know when we were over there, you see? If it was 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, align what my personal life was and when the fuck did that... because this was normally not anything I would want to do.
No.
I want to be in my comfort zone.
Yes.
I don't like being pushed out of my comfort zone. And then I go to a place where I can't,
But, this
I can't go where I want to.
This has to be linked to, I think Satyricon supported Pantera on a tour in 99-2000. Could that be correct?
Now, the thing is...
It has to be after
the thing
this.
is, Phil seemed to be really into Darkthrone.
Okay. As he
and
should.
Darkthrone, no, but it wasn't logical at the time. He was somewhat in a much bigger band. And Darkthrone was on the Moonfog label. And then, Satyr could have seen some opportunity here.
Yeah.
Because he's a businessman, he sees opportunities.
Of course.
I don't see opportunity. I just want to soldier on with the Darkthrone stuff, and Satyr on the phone was always monumental. If the phone wasn't invented, Satyr wouldn't have gone as far. But he was a maniac on the phone, and he would just convince. So
I
good
see,
businessman.
Yeah, I see that side of things. It makes that things happen. It gets things to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He started with 2 empty hands, man.
Yeah, I think he's good at it too. So
yeah, he's good as hell. But I don't want stuff to go that fast. I just want a line to go real slow.
Yeah.
I had a day job. He didn't have a day job.
Yeah, sure. Now we don't need a day job.
He's a jumper. I'm staying.
But just to finish off the Eibon thing, you only recorded properly one song. Okay,
yeah.
The rest is demos.
And probably not. Yeah, demos. They're probably just even riffs without drums.
Okay, only tape with a riff on it, kind of thing.
I'd have to check that CD, but I don't want to check that CD.
But is it kind of the same vein as the one song?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like you hacked my phone, because today I found that Moonfog sampler that it's on. So that's why I was thinking today.
Really?
Earlier. Yeah, so I was listening to Mirror Soul Jesus. I was thinking, oh my God, that one riff is horrible. I would never do that. But the rest was like cool again. And I'm thinking, okay, that drum sound is good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It sounds good. It was supposed to be tight like that. And also, I don't think Satyr had that much interest in this band, but I'm thinking if Phil wrote something for this project, he wanted probably to have a little bit of the feeling that you can find on the Poison ID album, their Darkness album.
Okay, yeah. I think it's a shame it didn't become an album. That's too bad. But, you know.
But it's better if people listen to that Poison ID album. Feel the Darkness, that's what it's called.
Yeah, sure, but it's not you guys.
Huh?
It's not you guys.
It's all really cool. Actually, I've been known to say that if I wanna, there's one song I would like to cover, and it's a song from the Feel the Darkness for Poison Idea called "The Badge."
Haven't heard that. It's like...
But the song I knew was called "Just to Get Away," which is a fantastic song. It blows everyone away when they hear it. But I just discovered that, and Phil seemed to know it from when it was released, which was, what, 91, 92, 93? Poison ID? And Poison ID had been a band many years before that. They were just this super tight entity at the time they did that album. And the album also had a huge impact on Thomas Seltzer.
Turbo Negro, ja. Kan vi ha en tissepause?
Yup. Are we rolling?
No, not rolling.
Rolling. Beautiful. Also covered by Dead Kennedys. Well,
you know what? When I stepped off, I was supposed to come by train today, but I lured someone into driving me here to Oslo.
I lured
the guy, you know. But when I started hanging out, I'm a bit younger than you. I was born in '84, so about 2004, I was 20 years old. I got into black metal, and I started hanging out in Oslo. And the best thing in the world for me was a Saturday morning, stepping off the train and going straight to Elm Street because it was open early.
11 o'clock open.
Beautiful. I really miss it. But I wasn't there back in the day. Burger, yes, with the potato chips. Yep.
Burgers in the room.
Ravishing grillress. But the point is here, Elm Street played a big part back when I wasn't around.
Yeah, the major part it played was something happened at the Lusalotte pub. Someone was hanging at the Lusalotte pub, which was Torggata. Yes, right by the Hot Records record store.
Please help me out. Where is that now? Is that...
Torggata is over the Storgata, but no one from Brazil that listens to this will care much. But
I care. Is it around, El Dorado?
We're in Storgata now, dude, and Torggata is just up through the...
Is it by Mono?
Yeah, Mono is on the way.
Yes,
of course. You can go through the passage, and then you're there. Then you're there. Hot Records record store and Lusalotte's. Lusalotte's pub was a bit more rowdy, rølpete, more
a bit more rockin'.
More snooze. Rebel Records was more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, was it a kind of a goth pub hangout?
No, not Lusalotte.
Was it dark? Was it painted black?
I was almost never there.
I never was there, so I'm asking you. Was it a black place, or was it a regular pub?
It wasn't a regular pub. It was definitely for people that like to listen to metal.
Yeah, there you go.
And sorts. But I didn't go there. It was, I think they had 18... They had some sort of, it was kind of a different was more homogeneous there.
There you go.
Elm Street was more everyone, and especially older people, and that was into Rolling Stones, and you know, the owner was Peter Hafstad, which is like, he's 10 years older than me, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So it's typical that it's not typical. I had a lot of formative years in the 80s, so I have a problem with the 90s. He had his formative years in the 70s, so he had a problem with the 80s.
Yeah.
And then a lot of those people you'd find they dropped out in the 80s. So when they start searching again in the 90s, the things they find, you know, oh, I'm an old guy, but I like this Rammstein. And I was like, oh, fuck, you don't know anything. And big confusion. Well, what do you want to know about Elm Street? Elm Street started probably in 1990, and they set out to have really cheap beer and everything, but they wanted still to be a bit more serious after a while than the other hangarounds for punk and metal people.
But was it a jazz club at first?
Absolutely not. Rebel Records was there first, and Rebel Records...
always been a rock club then? Or pop?
Rebel Records was just for selling albums, you know?
Yeah.
Rebel Records had at least one other filial in Oslo that I went to, because it was never any people there. I could be in peace.
Yeah.
And they had just the same almost plethora of albums there. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Elm Street. Rebel Records was run until, I don't know, maybe that filial down at Dronningens gate was run actually by Peter Hafstad. I don't know. Anyway, he got to take over the place, and I'm going to make this a rock cafe.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there was too much punks, too cheap beer. They raised the beer prices a little bit and thought, okay, we have to have several different, we cater to different crowds. So it was always like that. The thing was, we played there before we were allowed to go in. I think we played there in 1990. We had some Klaus Schulze intro music and played like real technical death metal there at Elm Street. They always had a lot of shows at Elm Street. Yeah, live. Elm
You
Street.
played live there?
Yeah, sure. 1990 probably.
Which band?
Darkthrone.
With Darkthrone?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, really? I don't think anybody knows that.
Oh, Cadaver played there, and I think.
Wow.
Too.
Okay. So it was a metal hangout already from the get-go then?
No, well, yes, metal people could go there, but you had to lower your standards, because there were different music playing in the night or in the evening or at daytime. So there was, now I remember, 18 you had to get in at Lusalotta, and 20 at Elm Street.
Okay, okay, yes.
So in June 91, I took out a forbrukslån at my bank at the post, because I had 10 days left until I got my paycheck. Now I suddenly remember that this might the Darkthrone gig. Nah, I think we still played in 1990 there. But why did I get this idea that I had to start hanging out at Elm Street?
Yep.
And that was half a year before I turned 20.
Okay.
I still just went for it. I think it was driven by me listening a lot to Hanoi Rocks and Dogstamore, and I wanted a place to hang out myself with my cowboy boots and all that glam style.
You actually wore that?
I was a black metaler and Dogstamore, Hanoi Rocks dude at the same time.
Oh, cool.
No problem.
Cool.
No problem for me. There weren't any black metal people at the Elm Street pub. Anyway,
so you were alone down there then?
Yeah. And the guys from Mayhem would be every 3 months, maybe, they would go there. Jan Axel liked more the Lusalotte crowd, so he was hanging there.
Yeah.
And I was always at Elm Street. Something happened at Lusalotta. Maybe they had to close down in 94.
I think so.
And what happened then, there was an avalanche of people.
Need a place to hang.
And that was Elm Street. So Elm Street up until 94 was a lot of different people. And I had a big social hangout crowd there. Then suddenly came all the rowdies from Lusalotta pub. And at the same time, the Blackpackers started coming because they didn't come here to Norway in 93. They came in 94. God damn it.
That early, actually?
Yeah, they came in 94.
Okay.
Because the shit had hit the fan in 93, so everyone took... a lot of people took the holiday in Norway in 94 and they went to Elm Street.
Everyone was Tore på sporet to find Fenriz in the corner.
Not only me, they just any person from the black metal scene that released something, they would hope to find at Elm Street.
But
I don't know how they found out, but they sure did.
But you were found, right? Because you were there a lot.
And already in 95, I think it was... Because I've been there many years already then. And I had people that I hung out with. And the people I hang out with are... I will always only choose people that has a lot of humorous things going on.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing actually is, a sitcom at the table. All the time. But the people that came from all over the world, they didn't understand. Maybe they would buy me a beer and they thought that I was some sort of, a little mascot bear that, okay, so you buy me a beer and you own me for 30 minutes and stuff like that. And some of these people were cool and some were not so cool. Yeah. So it was Carl Mikael who found out a code name in 95 that said, let's go to Sobash. Sobash meant so what.
Okay.
So what pub had opened in 95, I think. So we would, if there was too many dorks there, or we deemed them dorks, or they weren't, because we would use our hard-earned money to sit there and have fun. We didn't want to, talk to everyone.
Of course.
That came from totally different backgrounds or from other countries. We wanted to have a ball with the humor that we were constantly evolving. So the code word was, let's go to Sobash. We would just go to the toilet and suddenly we were gone from the table and we had different routes and go up to So What and hang there.
Is that what became Garage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but that was way later. So we were pretty often at So What over the years.
Up there.
Yeah, well, they had a cool, you could sit outside and it was neat, man. There was lots of cool gigs there too.
I actually played there. With
Samantha Fox and...
Samantha Fox? At Garage?
Yep.
Wow.
At So What, man.
In the basement or in the top bar?
In the basement.
Yeah.
Ah, man, the sweat was running from the walls.
It's a tight place.
Yeah. Well, so the years went by. There was still always the base was Elm Street.
When did you quit hanging out there?
2001, 2002. It started to become a little less cool. I mean, it had been 10 years at the time.
Yep.
And the situation had changed. Like there were suddenly a lot of people just wanting to lend money. Lend money meaning you'll never see it back and shit like that. And I'd just gone, bankrupt actually at the time. So I had as little money in 2001. I had as little money as I had in 1981 when I couldn't afford anything else but buying an AC/DC album with that little sticker.
But how did you manage that? To go bankrupt when you're a rock star?
No problem, man. No problem. Because hanging out at Elm Street 4 or 5 times a week, it costs a lot of money, and having beers and having girlfriends all the time that didn't always have the best income. And
how much was it for a beer back then? At Elm Street?
I don't know, but when I quit going out, I figured out I saved some 90,000 a year by not drinking out. And
you saved?
I saved that.
Yeah.
But then I would also have to put into the equation how many beers I would drink just buying in a store instead.
Yeah.
And then taxis.
Yes.
So I'd use like I'd
It's
use
a
like
lot. It's a lot.
700 on taxi a week, which is like 5 times 50 times that a year. So it was 120,000. When that was 18 years ago, and that in today's prices, that's like 200,000 a year. I say.
This beer right here, I guess it costs 100 kroner.
I think maybe 93. I don't know.
Yeah. In Halden, it's like 98 or something for just a
Even
Pilsner.
worse there, huh?
It varies, but yeah, it's around 100, you know.
Jeebus.
You need to be a rock star to...
But these prices aren't... these prices are insane here, but we also have bigger salaries and stuff like that, you know.
That's true.
And also, they have been adjusted. You're proving that you're becoming an old man when you're asking about beer prices in 1993, because that was like 30 kroner or 32, but corrected with the inflation thing, it's perfectly logical that they're 93 here.
But to be honest, I have actually drank beer for 40 kroner in Oslo several times. And that's...
Did you get a rash?
I don't think
or
so.
Or scabs while doing it?
Maybe on the inside. I remember there was this place called Møller's on the corner of...
that was also an option. That's where we would
back
go.
when? You can escape there?
No, you could not escape there.
No.
That's where you found the people that would not be able to afford drinking at Elm Street.
Yes.
But sometimes, you know,
That was
there
cheap.
would be gigs, and then you'd come by there, or... Oh no, they're at Möller's because they can't afford to drink anything. I'm supposed to meet
Yeah, it's
them.
cheap.
Möller's.
If you're there in good company, it doesn't matter.
The Möller's, they had the jukebox, which you could have some cool songs were on the jukebox. Some shit, of course, but they had some cool songs on the jukebox, I remember. So it was cool to be there when someone of the cool was there that had money for the jukebox. But we didn't go there often. It's not my scene at all. Also in 2002, 2 years until before you started hanging out at Elm Street,
Yeah.
I was pretty much gone. I'd branched out a lot on what music I was listening to, which was saying a lot because I was already listening to all kinds of music. But then I would also want people around me that had different musical backgrounds, so they could teach me something and I could try to learn. And that would be Robinette pub, which was wall to wall with Möller's.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is it a really small
But it
one?
yes, it was a really small one.
It's still there.
Yeah, David Gurik was the friend of and did early Turbo Negro. He's the friend of Thomas Seltzer. He did that. Then he did Hell's Kitchen. He's like this tycoon of sorts now.
Okay.
But he started that.
That's still around, at least the local...
That's where you could hear the coolest music in town, was at the Robinette.
Still?
Yeah, you might.
Because I've been there, but I've been way drunk, so I can't really remember the music part.
Well, I was there a lot for the music and the drinking and for discussing. With
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
there was a lot of Turbo Negro. Möller was hanging in the
You know,
in the bar. The people working in the bar were playing bands and so on.
Speaking of Turbo Negro, I'm a good friend of Harald Forsberg. He's a cool guy. He just started up Turbo Negro with the original Turbo Negro guys. Only playing the old stuff though.
Well, I know Harald Forsberg a lot. I really appreciate Harald Forsberg.
He's a great guy.
And well, he's a musical beacon.
Yes.
But so am I.
Yes, you are.
I'm just
sir.
I'm one of his apprentices because he would feed me lots of weird music.
He's a bit older too, right? He's over 50.
He's 12 years.
He's 60 actually. I think he's closing on.
That was the last
60.
time I was out, dude. In his 60th birthday.
When was that?
That was in January at Last Train.
This year?
Yep. That was the last time I was drinking out.
Really?
Yep. And that was because I had to, because I was 60 years old. I'm a money-grubbing bastard. I'm a cheap
as you should be.
cheapskate.
It's good to have a buffer.
I'm Buffer the Vampire Slayer. I'd like a Transylvanian hangover, please, but from beer bought in the store, not out in the town. Now I forget to
It's
talk
okay. It's okay.
English like Petter Solberg.
Yeah, it's a big fart, you know.
We are both in the risk zone, Petter Solberg and me, because we have the same disease, sarcoidose. It's not
What's that?
contagious.
What's that?
Inflammation that moves around in the body.
What does that mean? Like, what is it?
It can go from ice to anywhere.
But
pretty
what
much.
does it do?
It inflammates and it fucks up your lung capacity.
Okay.
And you're easily exhausted.
Oh shit! So your lungs are weak.
Not necessarily always. Some get sarcoidosis like in a peak,
Yeah.
and that could be lethal. Some get in this line here.
Is it chronic?
No, for me it is, but it's worse for those that peak on it because you could die.
Of course.
If the inflammation is spreading to the fucking brain.
Oh man.
But that's seldom. Most people just struggle a lot.
Are you taking medication for that? Or is
A lot of people do. They need cortisone.
cortisone? Yeah, of course.
For a period, but it's
Yeah.
not good for me.
No, it's not good for anyone because it's poison. Stay away, please.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to have that for a lot of time.
But let's.
But that's a funny thing, because I didn't know that he was going to get it when I started talking like him. He's a famous rally car racer for you that are listening, Petter Solberg. And now his son Oliver Solberg already won some championship. It's fantastic.
He has his own TV show now, I think.
I like that. I didn't check it out, but you know he's got to have his money from somewhere.
He's a rock star, just
Fucking
like
is.
you, my friend. But let's move on to later years then, after the 2000s. How has the Darkthrone life been then? You've been recording some on your own and some only on your own actually.
Only on our own since 2004,
Yeah.
and that felt like we had the wind in our hair and there was freedom about it.
But please tell me, what was the last one you did in a studio? Was that Hate Them?
No, a sardonic wrath. But we did that in the house of that Ole. No, what was he called again? He died. Great guy, but you know you could smell the marijuana from 2 or 3 meters before you went to because I think he was growing it in there, you know.
Kind of hippie guy then.
No, well, not really. He was just really into that. And then he did the sound on our Hate Them album, but that was in an external studio. Now this time,
It was
in
at
2004,
his
he
house.
wanted to in his house,
Yeah.
but he had a computer crash, and he wanted the drum sound to be like Tank, like early Tank.
Okay.
I was really, and I was like, yeah, cool, Tank. But he couldn't hack it after the computer broke and something like warped the sound a little bit.
Okay.
So it sounds really caustic, that album. Anyway, we got. I don't know what happened after that, but then we were taken on a promotional tour of England by Peaceville. That was like Hammy was thinking there was one that got away from us, and it was Darkthrone, and we want to offer them a chance to come back on this
so
label
this was the
before
last
I quit.
Okay, so this was the last one on Moonfog then.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you went to England.
Then we went to England, and then we.
You flew over to England?
Yeah, with Ted.
Yeah, what did you do?
We went on a tour on Scottish castles and whatnot.
Or just like sightseeing?
Yeah. Even one of those roads that, you know, the tide takes away all the road, and then you can't get to the little island. And then it was neat.
Oh, well.
But again, that's a situation where I'm stuck. I'm not a part of the Norwegian public transport system, and I feel trapped.
Yeah.
So I had to drink a lot, but That tour was kind of like a token tour because we knew we wanted to take Hammy up on his offer anyway. But he was quitting, you see, and he wanted us back on the label before. He was like, the last thing I want to do is get those guys back.
Okay.
Because they've been, all these 10 last years, they've been really playing good guys out there. I think he was figuring out, and we thought they were so rotten and they've been behaving or something. You might be thinking something like that. They're not that bad after all, and they wanted to like give us a chance. I don't know what was going on with Peaceville at the time, but maybe that too was like Peaceville needed a push. I don't know, but I think maybe Hammy talks about it in his book, because that just dawned on me that maybe it wasn't just that Hammy wanted to save us, but maybe Hammy could save both Peaceville and us.
And Darkthrone, yes.
By bringing it together again.
By looking at castles in Scotland.
No, but that was just, like what you call like a bribe tour, but
buttering.
Buttering.
But then he went back.
The funny thing is that they totally agreed that, but then Ted would just buy like a pretty primitive studio, and then we'd do everything on our own.
But why was that? That's the point here. Why was that transition into doing it yourself again?
We always wanted that, and now we had like money to do that.
Okay, so you just
to record ourselves.
Invested in the studio thing. And
we didn't. We had the studio. The studio thing worked for us when we were doing the 2 albums in our local Kolbotn.
Yep.
On the Blaze Northern Sky and Under Funeral Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did 2 albums on my own.
Yes.
And then we did 1 album at Nesodden.
Total Death,
yeah. And it worked and didn't work, but it wasn't fantastic. Then we did the 2 in Toten.
Yes.
Then we did 2 with... it's disgusting that I don't remember his name now. But we wanted to record ourselves and just be with ourselves.
Yes.
We didn't want an external person around this thing, and it worked wonders for us.
Yeah.
But it was pretty unedited stuff. I mean, we knew when we were making the 4 next albums that this was not going to be anything that people would immediately like.
Or expect.
They would have to wait 25 years to see if that lo-fi thing would go anywhere or was cool or not. And I still, after 15 years now, I think 10 more years, no problem. We'll see, because that stuff was basically more cult metal.
Was that really Fuck Off and Die? Was that the first one back on your own?
No, it was The Cult Is Alive.
Yes, it was. Sorry. I'm just sloppy here. But
no, not sloppy. Why would you even... We have too many albums.
But was that already in Kjell Arne's basement?
Yep.
Oh, we love Kjell Arne.
Yeah. And also, the mics and everything was brand new, and it was a fucked up recording, but it works like hell. Then we started to branch out and freestyle even more on the next 3.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking... I was thinking about that today on the way here, like, fuck, actually, we don't have one album that has just great stuff on it. Not the way I see it. We've been hit and miss all the time, but we've been hit and miss pretty steadily. And also we could see the way we sell, because the Peaceville guys had a meeting with us like 8 years ago to show us like where everything has been going with us.
We don't
graph peak at all. The graphics. They're just going like
steady upwards.
Steady.
Slightly upwards.
Yeah, especially after the 2 last albums now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, they charted really well and sold really well.
But
never sold that much money.
Between you and me, they're great.
Yeah, but we're still
Gylve,
doing them really quickly.
Gylve, did you write the ending riff of Hardship of the Scots?
Yes, I wrote the whole song. We don't.
Can you please clink my glass? Thank you. Like that. Well done, sir. When I heard that riff for the first time, I don't know, man.
Yeah, the thing is, when I hear that riff, I'm thinking, okay, this is what Grutle or Ivar would make on their guitar, and then there's a skeleton here. They're thinking, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is my beefy riff. And they're thinking, that's a skeleton, man. We'll build a lot on top of that, but I just want it simple.
I knew at that second that Darkthrone still has it, and there's no worries in the world. You will continue to make killer stuff.
It's not my favorite riff, but
no, but you are. What do you call it in English? It's inhabil in Norwegian. You're what is it?
Biased.
Thank you, sir. Your vocabulary is impressive.
Yeah, and we also have a word for biased. I also have some bias.
Bias.
Sorry.
Oh man. But I remember.
Okay, but the thing was, when we were starting to record ourselves, we knew that okay, we have no engineer, we have no editing.
No.
But the thing is, we didn't do a lot of that in the studios as well. It was just like mostly one takes, very few jump-ins.
Yeah.
And okay, we can do this ourselves, but then the sound was getting tricky at Kjell Arnes. We did. I mean, those albums are alive, but they are cult metal, man. They've got lots of flaws in them, and some songs work and some don't. There is no depth in the drum sounds. It sounds like it's real underground stuff.
It is. It's great.
But then on the after doing like 4 of those, we went and got an offer from Jack Control that he said, oh man, I started a studio, Enormous Door, and especially I just want to, master stuff, and I'd love to master your stuff. I'd do it for free. And we just said, okay, go on then. And he just brought this roundness to the bass drums, which was almost like when we heard it the first time, so this is what we should have had. And to this day and age, my fave drum sound on any Darkthrone album is the previous one right now, which...
Arctic Thunder!
Yeah, that's my fave drum sound. And also Blaze Northern Sky is my fave drum sound, because that was the same guy that was doing the sound for Death Crush Mayhem.
Yeah.
Erik Aunskog.
Yes.
Erik Aunskog did Blaze Northern Sky and Death Crush. So that's... and I don't think he wants to comment a lot on any of those. He seems really attached from the fact that he's done the sound on 2 insane albums.
But does he even like black metal?
I don't think so at all. No. I think he wants to just not talk about this at all. I think he just wants to be a normal dude.
Those guys are cool. Those are the interesting ones,
I know, but I don't want to pester them.
But
I never even dared, when I was on Facebook, I never dared to try to request him or anything like that. Just want to, okay, he seems to want to be alone.
Yeah.
He won't.
You haven't heard from
alone.
him since then, so just take the hint, But because of Ted, I'm also using Jack Control now. He's done my 3 last albums, or 2 last albums, and my upcoming one. I like the mastering he does. That was because of Ted, so thank you. Cheers, Ted. But did he mix your last album?
No, it was the guy that mixed the previous Voivod album that did that. And he heard that we had doom metal riffs, and then he would mix the drum sound from the doom metal stuff, which is okay. But the thing he didn't know, the mixer, was that this album had a TED opener.
Yeah.
Because we've been so 50-50 in, okay, I opened the song on Arctic Thunder, so now it's Ted's song. And it starts, not doom metal, and the drums would, I think, drums are good for doom metal, but not for the tempo. Doesn't work. So I would just and in the beginning we heard the first initial mixes. It was like a lot of reverb or almost gating on the.
I actually heard that at Ted's house,
and I was almost in tears. Like, how could you fuck it up that bad? Because I love the drum sound on Arctic Thunder a lot. So it was a lot of ping ponging back and forth and crying.
It was way more modern sounding drums actually on that first mix of the new latest album.
I don't remember why he wanted an external mixer in at the time, but
Ted?
No, not Ted. Jack Control wanted.
Okay, he wants someone to mix it.
Yeah,
because Ted has done the mixing on the previous ones.
Yes, Ted didn't want to mix it, but I think Jack could have done it, but I think maybe Jack was busy or something and needed like a side guy.
Okay, I see.
And for a lot of people that are listening, that are mostly probably interested in older stuff, this is interesting because those last two albums really sold well. I don't know how this is possible, but
I like the return because on these two past albums, you have done a shift yet again. You know, you're steering the big mighty ship some other way than the crust punk kind of ish albums beforehand.
We didn't have a lot of crust punk actually. It was a bit more of melodics than that. But if I say crust punk once in 2005, then it stuck in at least 10 years, and people just stuck with, okay, they've gone crust punk now. There's almost no crust punk on that. There's different kinds of punkish or melodic punkish, which is like. But the thing is, I got tired of crust in 2005 when I started mentioning it. Then I started getting backlash, so I would get my life filled with generic crust punk the next 10 years when I was actually because my big crust punk period was 98 till 2005, and then then I just got what I could from the people that was in the know, and then I started getting all the other stuff. After that, crazy. So these lagging, the best thing about disappearing is you won't get exposed to all the lagging.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty esoteric, but to me that's what's been going on in my life. Disappear, get rid of the lags. Cause I'm thinking other stuff. Like you said, there was a steer away from the style with the last two albums, and that happened as I'm thinking, okay, again we need to try to do more die cast, but no one understands what die cast is. Die cast is helstøpt.
Yeah.
Need to try to do something more solid as a lump, because again we had done five albums of completely different styles, and I wanted to again, as I've been saying before in this interview, but this time I wouldn't force Darkthrone to be one style. I would just try to limit a little bit. And myself, I've been going freestyle for 10 goddamn years. I wanted to sort of ask myself, can I give Darkthrone back a little bit? Mister, can we have our ball back? And okay, I'll give the ball back a little bit. I gave all the vocals to Ted. That'll be a gift to the people that want the ball back. And I'm trying to go more introvert. And this was also because I heard this band called Anguish from Sweden that was really an introvert. And I was thinking Samael first, Samael album, worship him and stuff like that. And thinking it wouldn't hurt Darkthrone to retract a little bit instead of being like all fingers, hands, arms out. So pull back a little bit here. Let's see what we can do. And it worked like a charm.
May I ask, how are your new songs?
They're exactly the same, because when we did Arctic Thunder after that, we were like, we are so extremely happy about what we're doing now. Let's just keep on with the new one. And again, it worked with because Arctic Thunder was basically one of the first albums we had palm mute. We had a little bit on an album called The Underground Resistance, but The Underground Resistance worked so well for us as a band. We were thinking afterwards, we cannot top this, actually.
It's a great album.
We never thought, after Under Funeral Moon or Blaze Northern Sky, we never thought, we cannot top this, because we were young and, I don't know.
Viral.
But with Underground Resistance, we thought, we got a lot of effort out of putting not so much effort into this. Perhaps how will we go from here? And I'm thinking again, simpler.
Yeah.
Retract, do more introvert, not try to play 7 different styles, maybe 5 are enough.
And the most stupid question of them all. Do you think you ever will return to some closer to black metal? What you were when you were on the top of the black metal back then?
No, I think a lot of those songs were based on the tempo. And as Ted said, he's
Will you go back there?
It's not hard to go back there. It's really easy. It's
I know.
It's a Celtic Frost thing.
Do you want?
I don't want to. The last time I did was on 2013 was the Underground Resistance album. I had like a whole part of Celtic Frost there in the 13-minute long song. That was also some Savage Grace speed thrash metal thing called Leave No
Cross Unturned.
Yeah, and I have a whole part in there that is basically Celtic Frost, but like not especially what the it's actually Zephyrus Ivar's riff.
Yes, but it's a classic Darkthrone riff.
But that's when you're thinking.
I'm thinking
the cool thing about was that he didn't play He doesn't. He plays. He's harving. He's playing really fast on something that would completely logical in 99.9% people's ears would go.
But primitive riffs played that way. That is what makes the magic for me, at least.
Anyway, that riff is wrong the way he plays it, but we were just like thinking. He says, "I know this is wrong. We hear it's wrong, but this is awesome."
He has a great feeling on that one.
You're playing something that's going to go in.
Yes.
But you're playing it really fast, like it's Napalm Death.
It sounds great.
And we were like, we knew it was going to work.
On top of your simple drum beat, perfect.
But we can't just take that and do it again, I think. But
no. But
but it's Celtic Frost thinking anyway.
Yeah. And what about Bathory? Would you like to include that a bit again?
No. I'm done with the finger moving thing right now. But
and monotone, the bursum thing, the monotone kind of repetitive.
But I'll tell you what, I included Call from the Grave in my latest podcast episode, and that's when I first heard the finger moving thing. I told you. I'm thinking he's doing that on the really slow riff there, and the way I was doing it mostly on fast stuff. Well, I could incorporate that in some slow stuff, but I'm not there now. I'm at the palm mute thing.
Okay, yes.
But let me be clear, like 1 out of 3 riffs that falls into my head is palm muted now. It's not like I'm sitting down and making palm mute riffs. I don't do that, but I do make them in my head.
Yep.
But usually they just fall into my head, and that I cannot steer what riff it is. And on my phone, I have riffs hummed in.
Yeah.
It's because I don't do it on the phone, on the guitar. They just boom drop into my head. No matter what I do, if I'm taking a crap or if I'm watching biathlon, it doesn't matter. I got a lot of riffs in my head just from out of nowhere watching La Liga, but that's because I'm watching La Liga a lot.
Yeah, but on the new Darkthrone, is it a lot of or thrash palm-muting or metal palm-muting?
No, I like slow thrash.
Okay, yes. Yep.
So it would be
groovy ones.
Or but the beat is slow.
That sounded like almost Soulside Journey-ish kind of stuff.
No, but we didn't really have palm mutes.
No, but the beat was at least around there on the corner. Okay, man, we have.
But if you take that beat like, and you go with the, you always have the in the 4/4s, will be very metal.
It's very catchy, my friends.
It will be very metal.
Man, we have talked for well over 2 hours, and I think we covered pretty much.
Are you some sort of editing freak?
No, I usually have mine unedited.
I can't edit on my podcast. No, I'm just a fool talking. Oh, but now they're starting to groove here. Let's dance!
Hey, the lights got a bit dimmed. Very cozy.
Dimmed like a Borg here.
Do you have... Oh, whoosh. Do you want to... I always say to my guests that we come to the part that you can be Gene Simmons.
Listen to Dr. Shrinker, the eponym demo.
That is your push?
Yeah.
Anything else on top you want to add?
I'm Gene Simmons. Listen to our second album called Hotter Than Hell and Strange Ways. That is very introvert song.
And that was Gene Simmons speaking.
Oh yeah, and on the Hotter Than Hell album, Watching You has one of the early black metal screams.
Really?
Watching us! When he says, watching us! That's black metal, man.
Thank
From
you,
Kiss
Gene.
in 1974.
Thank you, Gene.
Gene Fenriz.
All right.
I'm more of an Ace Frehley guy, by the way.
Gylve, Fenriz, my man, thank you very much. See you next time, guys. Adios!
For Mork concert booking, contact Alexander at doomstarbookings.com.